Hey guys, and welcome back to my City Builders channel here on YouTube. I'm Ben, and today I'm starting a new region called Springdale. Um, since I've been playing for a couple of episodes now in my city of Westfield, I thought, well, it's winter, it's January 2021. And I want to start something new, something, well, that's more like today. It feels like more wintry, a little bit more challenging, probably in the future. So, well, that's the reason why I created a region. Actually, you can't see the full picture of the region here yet, but we do have sea access, we do have access to a lake. So we can introduce some kind of fishing industries. We have loads of mountains over here. You can see the sea. Um, so there's loads of room for us to expand. We have thick forests here with many high, like trees, like those, how are they called? Those massive trees here that are not uncommon in North America, actually. So, yeah, today I want to start here in this new square, and I just want to explain a couple of things to you in the very beginning because I will come back to those over the time. So, even though I'm using a couple of mods here, and even though I'm also using a couple of, well, let's say special settings, like, well, I want to fix my time of day during these tutorials here or these let's play sessions. um, I still have to accomplish the regular progress that any other player will have to do or will have to accomplish. Like, I have a limited budget in the very beginning. I'm not playing with unlimited budget here in this area, in this region. I have everything pretty much set back to the default settings of Cities Skylines. The thing is, I have a couple of DLCs that I'll be using. Currently, I think I own, except for these radio stations, almost every DLC that's available for City Skylines now. And yeah, that's what I'm going to play with for the next many episodes, probably. Um, so, yeah, let's start with this here. We actually do have a highway accident entry here in this, well, square at the very beginning. I have some train lines coming in here, but that's pretty much it. So there's, if I want to mind that I have some forests here that I'm not completely going to tear down, because that's not the main goal of this let's play session. I do not have a lot of room to actually expand. So I'll have to make sure that I'm not kind of overusing my budget in the very beginning. So for some reason, again, this, you have to set one road before you can actually use the standard roads in City Skylines for whatever reason. So I'm currently following my normal or usual process of setting up a quick roundabout that allows me to like make sure that all the incoming traffic is also again able to leave my town, even though that's something I don't want them to do. But I think a roundabout in the very beginning is quite a good solution for that without wasting too much money on expensive highway connections throughout this town. Um, so I'm probably starting with this right from the beginning, and I start with the most, well, it's not really the most basic type of road, but the type of road that's easily to work with in the very beginning, because it's a 2-lane road. It's not too narrow, not too big. Um, and of course, since I don't have these on ramps yet, I also need to make sure that, come on, the 1-way 2-lane roads, that those are actually connected. Whoa. Um, oh, interesting. Okay. Um, okay. I quickly changed that. I'm sorry for it. I just quickly changed the direction here of my 1-way roundabout, because then I can more easily add in a new connection to here and from here to there, I guess. Um, yeah, so this is what I'm working, or what I will be working with in the very beginning. It's nothing huge, nothing fancy for now, but it's affordable. y- it's cheap to maintain. It's, well, quite efficient, and it does offer enough like opportunities for me to expand my city here. Um, I'm just wondering very quickly. Um, yeah, so I'm thinking about, of course, expanding my town to down here. I will also have to include some kind of um, water connection from down there to my town. That will most likely develop like over here for now. And I think the major crossing that I want to set up, I think I'm going to make this a bit more like one thing off here. Because I want this to be the major crossing in town. I could consider, and maybe I should already do that now. I should probably consider adding in a 1-way. I don't want guys to be able to park here, to be honest. So there's not a lot available actually at the moment. So phew, it's I gonna choose the 1 lane. The one lane 1-way for now, and um just thinking whether that's, well, that's not really an option. I'm just curious when I'm using the anarchy mod whether that's working or not, but I think it should work quite easily. Yeah, so I'm using a roundabout here for the center of my town. That's something I can expand easily at a later stage, and maybe also those are not really well laid out for the very beginning of my city here. Um, I always have to make sure that in the very beginning I'm not overthinking things because that's sometimes not really helpful. Um, you tend to plan too many things already ahead of time instead of restructuring a couple of things at a later stage, which sometimes makes way more sense, to be honest, than laying out everything from the very beginning accordingly or according to your needs. Because, well, from my experience, you hardly would be able to set up everything the way you want it to be um, from the very beginning. So I guess it's a good option to not overdo it, but still have some, well, let's say some kind of um, fun in creating things. And I want to create a separate, like, industrial zone. I need those industrial zones, unfortunately, in the very beginning, but I want to have them as far away as possible from my city and as far away as possible from the trees and the forest. That's the reason why I'm moving a couple of trees over there to not destroy everything already in the very beginning. Then I'm adding in a water pumping station for now, like, let's say down here. Well, the water tower, I could go for that. Um, but the water tower usually doesn't allow to have, well, it doesn't have that much capacity um as the water pumping station. And unfortunately, and this is really sad because we're here in a very, very cold area. As you can see, during the daytimes, I have a temperature of just 3.4 degrees Celsius, um, which kind of forces me to use warm water lines in as soon as possible or as quickly as possible, um, which is not really bad, but it's something I have to keep in mind as soon as I do have the option to actually use those hot water stations. And I need something for waste treatment in case I already can, but I think currently I can't. And the yeah, this kind of sounds good or looks good. I need some, like, supplies, some electricity here in my town. And before I'm actually starting to let this run, I want to make sure that I have set up one commercial area, actually two commercial areas. I want to remove those that are too close to to the roundabout about, and I want to add in like here some residential zones. Um, in case you're wondering, and I just want to tell it to you uh, right from the start here, I'm using actually one mod, the electric roads mod, because from my perspective, at least in some or probably most parts of the world, um, you can expect that electric lines are actually running below roads and like public areas, which totally makes sense to me because, well, those power lines above ground, of course, we can you can still see them in many different countries and areas, but it's not something you would most likely see within a city or a town, except for a few specific areas where this could actually happen. So for now, since I don't have anything else except for water, this is something I already took care of, like water treatment. The eco water treatment plant. Well, not for now. I'm waiting for um I'm waiting for the real pollution free thing here, and I have my power lines. I have those wind turbines that help me to get some power actually into my road here, into my streets and into my areas. And this looks like as if it hasn't yeah, it has connected to the roads. So I think all these houses should be supported, on the one hand by water, but on the other hand also by my power supplies here. So now I'm waiting for people to arrive. Some houses are already getting built, which is nice. It's not that many. There are just 7 people now arriving. There are a couple of more buildings actually coming up here. And just let me tell you about one thing in the very beginning. Um, I'm using one specific mod called, I think, Realistic Populations Revisited, which is a mod that I'm using since quite a while because, um, as you will realize at a later stage, whenever you get higher buildings, and if you're using the vanilla version of City Skylines, there is actually one issue. You have yeah, something like skyscrapers in your town, but still the population is ridiculously low. And that's the reason why I chose to actually install that mod with my personal modifications to it. Um, I will leave you a link in my description actually below, just to make sure that you can download my individual settings for this specific mod if you'd like to from my free for all like Dropbox. Um, so you could just download them there and make sure that you're happy to go with these. I can quickly show you the realistic population. It's set up like, well, this is one home for one family. Um, So I have 2 floors, of course. That's the calculated stuff. And I have about 40 square meters per person. So probably there is a family of almost 4 living in this house. And that sounds quite reasonable. And that's the way how I went through actually all the buildings except for commercial and industrial buildings and offices because they were already quite reasonable from my perspective. It was just most likely about the homes actually. And uh yeah. So I think we're good to go from here and we have a nice place to start with. Um, Currently, and that's something I try to keep in mind as soon as I can and as much as I can from the very beginning already. And this is like, um, I have to make sure um, that my citizens get a couple of services right from the very beginning because that helps actually the town to expand a lot quicker. And I'm putting something like waste management and like this recycling center because I don't want to introduce um, those landfill sites as they only, well, those are really expensive as you could see, and they almost killed the rest of the budget. But I don't see any sense in putting in um like those, how are they called? I just forgot, landfill sites into my town because they only cause more trouble than they are actually helpful, at least from my perspective. It's just my point of view. I don't like these a lot, and that's the reason why I'm avoiding to use them um, throughout almost every city, or yeah, every city that I tend to build is usually without landfill sites. So there are a couple of cars already incoming, and I'm wondering, um, since I can't change, and that's something I'm constantly checking here, I can set taxes, I guess. So I gonna check that in a second. I do have a clinic, an elementary school, a snow dump. Oh, that's something I totally forgot about. I need a snow dump, definitely. And I don't need community schools yet, but I will set a snow dump. Probably I can't afford it right now. I'm just curious where I'm actually able to find this one. Pollution free in Carson, but where's the snow dump? Hi guys, where is the snow dump? Currently looks as if I can't find this. Um, so I'm using the search it's something mod. There we go. We do have the snow dump ready because that makes it sometimes easier to um oh, it's too expensive. Okay, I want to save that for later. So right now it's all about gaining enough money to make it out of the depth, um, or to not actually have any debts. And that's like the most important thing for now. I do not want to start cheating here. Um, and sometimes, especially the very beginning, is a bit tough, um, to be honest, but it is, well, it is what it is. And sometimes you just can't help it and just have to wait a couple of months or days to pass by, as you always can do one thing, and this is laying out new zones. And as you can see, we're getting closer and closer um, to the very beginning. And I think in that um, in my case here, and that's the actually the only reason why yeah I need, and I'm totally aware of the fact, I need industries, um, because they are actually paying, especially in the very beginning, a lot of my costs, because they bring in money, real money, like to my town. And yeah, I can't really, uh, don't have enough money. So yeah, we'll just wait for a little bit and speed things up for you now, just so that you don't have to wait that long. But as you can see, since the city is growing and people are coming into town, moving into town, and it's growing constantly, my weekly income starts to grow as well, which is really good. Because that's what I, yeah, definitely need. So I'm not doing, and I won't do any lane management here, um, for the moment, at least. It's absolutely fine. People can drive to work, they can get to work. And yeah, we're earning some money right now already. And I want to make sure, just let me quickly check, because I want to make sure that this is connected as well. And I guess from here we are good to go. I still have to think about, or at least I want to think about one specific thing. So now I reached the worthy village, the population of 900. So now I have some policies that I could set up. I can set up district specializations, services policies, and there's something important. I get the option to add in emergency services, police departments, and unique buildings. Unique buildings is something I don't read. I don't really need right at the moment. Police departments and emergency services is actually something I recommend you. I strongly recommend you to add to your city very soon. And yeah, from here, just let me check. Um, yeah, I think from here I can continue to actually set up a couple of things. I'm just wondering whether I do have, I don't have these specialty districts yet. I do have something like generic industries. I would have all this option to add organic produce. stuff here would be really, really nice. So I'm using the cheapest road options for now, um, because of the fact that I know that those businesses and like buildings that are plopping up at the moment or popping up at the moment, I'm sorry, um, they don't need a lot of like things for the very beginning. So I'm zoning out here a commercial zone that specializes in organic and local products, and that will help me achieving another like goal in the very, very future. So this is not something that's important for the very beginning, um but this will help me with um achieving the goal that I have a specific, at least a specific amount of local production industries or commercial things, options here in my town, which might later give me um, some landmark building, as it would have been called in SimCity 4, which is not what we are playing at the moment, but at least it's something. And where is it? The snow dump. I shouldn't forget about that. So I want to have this slope too steep. Are you kidding me? No. Oh, come on. This can't be too. Do you not have any like mm, okay. I'm a bit wondering now. But this is connected and that's connected, so it should be supported with enough electricity. Maybe I need a new one. It's yellow. It's yellow due to the fact that people have to use at the current stage. They have to use um. So I can't set up a firehouse. So for heating, they currently have to use your electricity that you're producing. And this actually is kind of, I would like to say, a bit unfortunate because it causes that you have to, or this is the cause for you having to add in way more electricity options from the very beginning. So the industrial demand is already growing by a lot. So I'm adding in some more zones here that I not necessarily have to lay out far enough away from any like residential or commercial zone here. Can't use these yet. And now I'm just wondering whether I could change Um, so I found this one here and I want to place it somewhere where the slope isn't too steep. Then move it because that's ridiculous. It's not too steep here. I just want to move it down here and turn it around just to make sure that it sits right in this corner here. And then I'm also, well, I think this looks almost like natural, like as if it has always been here. I'm just wondering whether trucks operating normally snow plows and they are not yet in use here, but that's fine. That's totally fine. I think we do not have enough snow on our roads here yet. Yeah, so let's see what's happening. We're earning enough money. And yeah, for this very beginning, actually, this already shows you some of the basic essentials from my perspective for any town or any new city that you're going to build in City Skylines, independently of the mods that you're using. But if you want to make money in the very first place, you need industries. And as you can see, I never really ran out of money. Of course, I do not have a lot right at the moment, but that's fine. It's totally fine because I see more is coming in. People are coming in, and I think this amount will grow in a couple of months and weeks, game weeks. So it's nothing I'm, to be honest, really worrying about for the moment. So I can just let the game run for a couple of minutes or seconds just to make sure that my budget is getting a bit higher, because before I'm considering to end this episode at all, so now temperatures are dropping, electricity consumption is rising for sure, because now we have -4, -5 degrees Celsius, which is, it's getting kind of cold here. So something I want to add in, I do have a doctor's office already. I need a firehouse very, very quickly. I do not want to miss the chance of having a firehouse at that stage already, because it's will cover most parts of town for now, at least, even over there, because there are not a lot of citizens living here for the moment. And the next thing I'm going to do is adding in a police station. As soon as I have enough funds for it, because that will give the citizens a bit more safety, I would like to say. So now we can also afford that and place the police station right across the firehouse. So everything should be working now very fine and very easily. And there is something I wanted to add in now. And this is actually a parking lot, and I'm using a mod for that, to be honest, because City Skylines doesn't really offer the option to have parking lots. And I was just wondering about one thing, to be honest, whether, okay, I can afford it for sure. Okay, I can't use underground parking lots, unfortunately. At least not for the moment. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't allow me to go underground. So I want to offer the citizens, when they are going for a shopping spree here in my commercial district, I want them actually to be able to park very conveniently, um, right next to this commercial center. So they won't have to walk a long distance. And that's the reason why I'm actually adding in this parking lot for now. I'm just leveling out this zone, this area, just a bit to make sure that it looks a bit more nicely than it previously did. And the only thing I have to do now, which is, yeah, it's kind of natural, is I'll add in a couple of parking spaces here, like there. Oh, okay, that's what I need the snow plows for. Let's let them plow the parking lot. Just curious, is it leaving here? Are you a snowplow? I don't know. Yeah, could be. So guys, you can't actually park here. Okay, I have to think about that. Hopefully someone will care about that quickly. Because I don't want people having to suffer from anyone being lazy, blowing the roads here in my district. I'm curious when it happens and what will happen. So people are still considering to park here, really? Yeah, however, if they like to, please go ahead and park. Okay, so it's getting cooler, and that's exactly what happens. I need more power supplies now, which is a bit unfortunate because I didn't want to bother my citizens with too noisy power supplies from the very beginning. Um, but unfortunately, I have to. And as you can see, adding in new power supplies does already changes a lot. And there is one other thing I would like to tell you about. I'm using this traffic manager, President Edition, which is another download from the Steam Workshop, actually. And that edition allows me to set up not only but also not non-parking zones for my roads, as I want those people to either park on the parking lot or park nowhere. Um, Sometimes, well, at that stage, you might, of course, think that, well, it doesn't really make sense. It's not necessary to take care of that for the moment. Um, and I'm, you're totally right, for sure. Um, at least in that stage of the development of a new town or a new city, it's absolutely not necessary to take care of that. Um, but from yeah, if you had a look at that at later stage and had a look at your town and would kind of realize that all those streets are actually parking roads, and you're really getting into, I wouldn't want to say trouble, but you will have some issues with that after a couple of um, yeah, years in game time, actually, because um, while the city continues to grow, um, it doesn't make things necessarily easier for for you in the future to sort. I wouldn't want to say mistakes out at a later stage, but at least it's something you would have to take care of. Um, and yeah, so why not avoid it from the very beginning? It's always, I wouldn't want to say easier, but it saves you a lot of hassle later. So I'm laying out a huge zone actually here. So businesses can come in now. They can use, if they want to, the parking lot. People can use it. They're just using it as a detour somehow. Well, however, currently, I don't mind. Do what you want to do what you need to do. That's totally fine. Fine with me. So now I'm adding in like a new zone. Here I have to unfortunately remove a couple of existing buildings, but that's not something I'm worried about at the moment because I want to lay things out nicely as much as I can. And since I do have train tracks over there, I want to make sure, and I don't want to forget about it, that those train tracks still can pass by um, like this side of town, but I'm sure I can't lay out these um, for the moment. No, not yet. Just wondering, have I achieved anything yet? No, not yet, I guess, or not enough yet. Not enough so far, I would like to say. Is there snow plow in use? No, it isn't, for whatever reason. So let me just quickly try one thing. And I wanna have, just going into my settings again, the weather. There should be snowfall. Definitely. It's always nice to have. And Yeah, that's good to go. So we want to have snowfall in town because otherwise it doesn't really make sense playing in a snowfall area. And now we're curious what will happen and if something will happen. If it's moist enough, maybe not yet, but we'll see. So I'm checking. So I want to ask my citizens to reduce the power usage. I can't set up any taxes yet, so now I have the option to add in park areas, industrial areas, and do some landscaping. Sorry for the interruption. So yeah, what I wanted to say, whenever you reach a new status of your town or city, make sure that um, especially the service things are actually something that you might want to consider building more likely sooner than later or incorporating these into your town because those are sometimes absolutely essential from the perspective of your citizens. And that's the reason why I usually tend to set things up like parks, um, and later on also use industrial areas very, very soon, because I know the citizens love it. And the more you're fulfilling their needs, kind of needs, or you want to fulfill or meet the demand of them, it helps you a lot in developing your town at a later stage. Um, so yes, something, keep that on your mind. I'm just considering to move my actually this plow thingy here, just to make sure that I can not operating. Why? Why is this? Oh man, come on. Is this kind of shrinking? Oh yeah, the water is shrinking. Oh, that's something. Um, yeah, sometimes you have to move your water stations or use, instead of that, I'm using, like, because I don't want um my lake to vanish actually. I need this lake. I want this lake definitely. So hopefully the water level keeps rising again. I don't want this to get pumped empty, um, just by the water station here. So I'm using these two water towers by now. Yeah, so they are on. I think this should still be enough for the whole town. Um, yeah, and as you can see, there are still many incoming cars and trucks, um, to my city, which is really really nice now. Um, yeah, and I guess I can put down some parks for my citizens now, as I want to make sure that they can kind of can enjoy themselves and have a nice place to go, um, to whenever they want to. So yeah, that's all fine. And I'm wondering, no, not yet. No other schools. I would have a high school available. um, quite soon, but I guess I need something like more like a community school. Um, the libraries are kind of, at least from my perspective, are pretty much useless in city skylines. You don't need these to have reach a good educational level. It doesn't really matter, um, as far as I can tell. So I just put in a couple more residential zones. I'm making a good bunch of money for the moment. And are there any snow flow trucks in use? No, there aren't. I'm curious. Maybe that changes over time. We'll see. Whatever happens. Um, so even though Springdale is looking really, really small by now, there are at least 1,600 and something citizens living in town. Um, we already have a little bit of incoming traffic here. And yeah, I'm absolutely excited about starting a new city now in a kind of winterish surrounding and landscape. Hopefully, you enjoy it as much as I do. And I would really appreciate it if you could leave me a like on this video or subscribe to my channel. And yeah, leave a comment below. And I'm happy to, yeah, write back to you, help you whenever you have any questions regarding City Skylines. And please consider also clicking the little bell icon just to get notified as soon as I'm publishing a new tutorial for City Skylines or a new Let's Play session in my city of Springdale. So, thanks again. Welcome back to Ben playing City Skylines, and thanks for visiting me. Have a good one and see you soon. Bye bye.